Hello, everybody, again, and welcome to another episode of Stock Talk. I am your host, Mike, and with me is not Kage because he is out. He is shoveling snow. He got 1.5 feet of snow at his house, and he is currently digging out. But hopefully we'll have his tired ass on the show tomorrow, and maybe he'll be in better spirits. I've got a decent show planned for you today as far as what we have lined up and everything like that. So we had a listener on StockTwits, and he was basically wondering some of the purposes of the show and everything like that. The purpose of the show, sir, is to give information, let people know what the real traders are saying about the stock, and he was concerned that some of the people on StockTwits were not as far as to be trusted. Now, you should only trust yourself, and you should do due diligence on your own information, not what I say, not what some other people say. We can give you the information, but the advice, we don't give out advice of what you should buy. We always say to find your buy point. Now, some people say, well, I can just look this information up. You can, but some of the information is not available because we have this thing called censorship, and so sometimes we don't always get all of the information. So that's why it's good to listen to various programs, and that's why we go through various programs on the show. But enough of that. You're here for stocks, and you wanted to hear that. I just given a little background on Mr. Naga. I'm not going to remember his name again. We probably won't hear from him again for a while or anything like that. He was trolling one stock on one of the brewery stocks, I guess, and a lot of people were getting upset with him because he was trolling, and I found out why, because I was actually covering his takes, and, you know, as far as his bear takes, just to get the sentiment of some of the bears. Apparently he just has nothing to do, and he likes to go around to everybody and just be a negative Nancy, so maybe go and meet a girl at the bar and go get a beer or something like that, you know, or go have some tea with one of the ladies or one of your friends and cheer up a little bit and get some of that holiday spirit in you. So the first stock I'm going to talk to you about is PTPI. PTPI. Last tick on this was $2.90. Now, the year-to-date chart, if I put it up here on the screen there, this one is a pretty healthy chart as far as that. This stock can be swung trade as far as that goes if you're a type of swinger. Now, it is one of your more safer ones, and it's the funny part of the listener that says that was listening to the show yesterday, and he says that, well, everybody can look this information up, but they don't. They don't have all the information because some of these stocks that come up show up on promotion lists, and that's what I was trying to tell him. As well as a lot of people don't know that are into the market or new to the market. They don't know what is going on as far as with the economic tribulations that are coming and those that are here, what's going to happen next. So they're turning to multiple outlets to try to gauge themselves of where they're going to plant themselves in stock. That's why you're seeing biopharmaceuticals stocks starting to show up all throughout. You're seeing those talked about on and on and on because, let's face it, some of these stocks are dead in the water till at least February. So going into this stock, it is PTPI, and last tick was $2.90. Now going into what would you say they do here, they engage in men's health therapeutics. It involves sales, marketing, regulatory, and medical affairs, finance, trade relations, and market access relations, manufacturing, distributing. It operates through prescription medications and medical device segments. It is headquartered in the People's Republic of New York, New York. They also are working on an FDA-approved PDE5 inhibitor prescription medication for the treatment of erectile dysfunction, which affects many Americans, which some people don't know that as well. But you just got it right here with the information that I just disclosed to you. Most of you have it, but there is some in that percentage, for example, that don't know that affects a lot of older men. So now you know. So this company is working on several different types of projects, and they are huge, and we're not talking about with erectile dysfunction there either. So they work with erectile dysfunction, Did you know that 30 million men across the U.S. experience erectile dysfunction and have 25% have only sought treatment? Interesting. Must be short, unfortunately, for them to have these types of problems, but they're here to help. So they have a solution to that erectile dysfunction. They have their tablets that you can take. The tablet is called Stendra. It's a prescription medicine used to treat erectile dysfunction, or ED. That can be taken as early as 15 minutes before sexual activity. It's a 100 milligram, 200 milligram tablet, can be taken early 15 minutes before sexual activity. Stendra only works when you're sexually stimulated. Do not take Stendra more than once a day, and is not for women, not for use in women or in children under 18 years of age. So they also have a condition, which you don't know if I mispronounce it, my apologies, is Peyronie's disease. It's a condition which the penile tissue disruption often caused by sexual activity or injury or healing predominantly collagen-based scars can ultimately harden and cause a deformity, primarily seen as the curvature. There are two main phases for the disease, acute and chronic. In the acute phase of the disease, its disruptor injured penile tissue is painful, varying degree sexual engagement may be painful, and there may be signs of the curvature, unusual erectile shaping, nodules, lumps, nodes, bumps, which is not good there. The acute phase is anticipated to occur between 12 to 18 months prior to the chronic phase. The chronic phase, the tissue or injury becomes less painful and not painful. However, the knots, bumps become palpable and plain to feel, detect. The phases is worth making an appointment with your urologist. So they're there to help with that. With that, they have their several types of treatments that they have for you, and you can go on the website and look at that, and they have their diagrams, which will go into that. But we want to know why this is popping and why things are moving, and so that's why we're going to go to the Alphabet News and check out and see what the Alphabet News is saying. Okay, so the big announcement is with the new drug announcement. It looks like the over-the-counter draft label comprehensive study results in ED for the erectile dysfunction. It's a pivotal label comprehensive study, was designed to assess as comprehensive of the draft Stendra. So the drug label intended for OTC use, the study is a key component of the company's plans to engage in discussions with the OTC pathway. Early study indicators show that the positive label comprehensive outcomes in the study, which was encouraged by the company to initiate the step of self-selection study and to continue to build a case for the FDA and the OTC to access Stendra. So with that, as that news pops down the road, you're going to see a pop. Now also with some of the other studies that they're doing, which obviously with this stock, this is one of the safer bets, and that's what we talk about on this show. Some people say, well, why do you cover these, and that? The reason why we cover all these, especially your biopharma and your therapy stocks, is because those are the ones that are going to take you through the challenging times. I don't know if some of you ever showed up and filled up a tank of gas or bought any extra food or anything like that, but it's costing you an extra penny. And with the cold here, the heating bills are going to go up and things like that. So with your investments that you're doing, you've got to look forward to the future and not just throw your money away in silly things. So this isn't investment advice or anything, but we're covering this, and this is what the tea leaves and the alphabets are trying to show you as well, because they know that's all they got to talk about right now, because your other ones are just currently in the crapper tank right now, and hopefully, like I said, they'll come back in February with March with better news, but the market is currently overbought. This we know. When the correction happens, we don't know, but we do know that we'll just we'll be here. If there's any other news, Evergrande, things like that, we will talk about it. But we're going to go to Stock Twits, not Stock Wits, because we got corrected on that. Apologies for that, for butchering those sometimes. We got corrected on that, but hopefully the gentleman that was correcting us and trying to help out, maybe he will become a contributor on the Facebook group to give his advice of what he thinks is some of the great stocks out there and some of the tips that he's used to rake in some of his winnings. So I'll be back on there in 2 and 2. Okay, so the huge information on this, one of the reasons why it's one of the top trending stocks as well, is because of the newest phase of phase 3 of reducing RT toxicity in the SOM in head and neck cancer. Now, with everything that they do, this is one stock you're going to want to take a look at and investigate specifically because I can't. There's certain things I can't say on YouTube and things like that. But let me just tell you that you're going to see within the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see an increased risk of increased cases of cancer. And you can bookmark this on your YouTube page and put it. Maybe I'll be able to tell you on another platform someday why I have that knowledge or how I have it. And I'm not trying to give anything away, or we're not going into black helicopter theories, just some of the knowledge, but you just can't talk of because of censorships. You're going to see an increased size of cancer more than you've seen before in the history of mankind. So that's just something to bookmark, and you can put it to the fake checkers and things like that, which will discount you. But going into this particular stock, if they have cancer treatment in those type of pipelines and things like that, especially a company with a phase 3, you also have single arm head and neck cancer. That one is in phase 2. You have AESOP, so you have EUSOM, that one was phase 2. Also the AESOP, that's phase 2. Then you have the LAPC pilot, that's pancreatic cancer. That's number 2, that's in phase 2. So you have several things in the hopper. They're also working on Greco-1 versus placebo in lung cancer. So that is huge, that's in phase 2. And then the next biggest one that is a heavy hitter here, Greco-2 versus placebo, that's another pancreatic cancer, that's in phase 2, 2B. Now, I would say going forward to Greco-2 placebo pancreatic cancer, phase 2B, you could go to phase 3, and then your news is going to pop again. So you're already popping here with Roman, going forward with your head and neck cancer for phase 3. You're just going to see, this is going to be one of the safer plays as far as going down the line. As stuff starts to deteriorate with the economy, eventually they're going to have to raise interest rates and things like that. I don't care what the alphabets tell you and things like that. There's going to be reconformity of some of the things that are happening in this economy, unless there's a major turnaround and a lot of the politicians get their head out of their asses and decide to do something as far as to actually get things done and realize what they're doing instead of getting out their printing machine. As long as they keep on getting out their printing machine, we're all screwed. Our grandkids are screwed. Everybody's screwed. So with that, without having to go in why they're all screwed and everything like that, it's another show for another day for The Economist or one of those other groups. Let's just say biopharmaceutical stocks are probably one of your safer plays to look at. And with this one, since it's cancer, I would simply take a look at it. Now let's go to the news, the alphabet news of this stock, which we already know pretty much why it's popping, but let's just see what the parrots are parroting in the media and the mockingbirds to see what they like to mock all along through the mockingbird media. Okay, and it's like exactly like what we said, because we read the tea leaves as far as on the pipeline, so we kind of figured out where we were at. But going on to Market Watch, Galera Therapeutics shares doubled to $2.94. This was yesterday. Pre-market trading after the company said the corrected results from phase 3 trial of for the treatment of RT-induced severe oral muscoitis in patients with locally advanced head and neck cancer achieved statistical significance on the primary endpoint in reduction of incidence SOM. The biopharmaceutical company said that it's been granted a breakthrough therapy and designation by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for reduction of oral muscitis induced by radiotherapy. Now, if you go back a while ago to some of the videos, I believe we covered this a long time ago. I believe it was Advise Analytics that hit up the Facebook page. So some of you are saying, well, this dude might not know what he's talking about and things like that, and maybe I don't understand the point of the show. Well, go back to the old videos And go back to what the real traders on StockTwits and also on our Facebook page, because Advised Analytics was there talking about if you haven't seen Advised Analytics, they drop posts on our Facebook group all the time. They're trying to share information just like the real traders are sharing information. Nobody has all the information. There are several different outlets, and some of them that you've never seen before that you don't know that exist. People are constantly waking up all the time to all the new information that's available to them. So you could say, well, I could just go look for this. But chances are, if you go and survey 50 or 75 out of 100, 75 of them have never heard of some of the companies that you're talking about. Because in this show, you have to take all forms of information. Action, action, action. There is only one play. There's not one place in a one-stop 5 alphabet news, which those guys, let's be honest with ourselves, they generally hide everything from the public, so you don't have all the information. That's why I say to go onto every single platform and listen to every single person so you can get all points of view, because all points of view are legitimate. Couple interesting takes I saw on StockTwits, because that's where the real traders are at. Green Thumb Picture says, I've seen this so many times in the bio. A bit of good news, the stock goes up and everybody goes wild crazy. Well, yeah, because it's showing up in promotions and deals like that. That's why we're getting a lot of this hype. It's good that a lot of you guys in StockTwits, you can set people straight and to save some of these guys from the pump up of gem. That's one of the things that I've been talking to one of the traders on StockTwits right now, as far as keeping people safe, making sure they're helping them as far as to get the information so they're not getting caught up by the pump up the jam, pump it up, because that's what we have a little bit going on, and that's why you get some of your pumpers in there. But he also writes, the stock goes up, everybody goes wild crazy. The reality is still that long road ahead, commercialization, and it takes a long time. All of these stocks all the time take many years sometimes to do that. You can ride the waves and ride the shorts, but sometimes the shorts will get you in the long term, and it could hurt. But this is what you got to do, and you got to make the right decisions and make the right calls, so you don't take the wrong falls. And I didn't try to make that rhyme at all or anything like that. Ahead of the commercialization, it should take a long time. Please be cautious. S&P rise and falls. When you get in, when the matter, whether that is a guarantee or not, the bulls will fail. Again, cautious. Hate when people lose money, especially against the establishment. To the bulls who win, congrats. Yeah, exactly. We don't like it when the establishment makes money. That's why we're always go apes. So for some of you that are out there and don't know a little bit who I am, I do support the Army of Apes. Cameo, one of my co-hosts out there that's been incognito, he's been traveling across the great state of New York and People's Republic of Nevada and other places. He's been absent, but Kage has been willing to sit in and is doing a wonderful job. We appreciate him being there. But yes, we always want the apes and the normal people win and not the establishment, because when the establishment wins, it's not a good thing. We got Jamira says, all the pumpers show up after hours and strong sign that the pre-market sell-off. Well, you're going to see a sell-off just because you have the pump up the gem. Like I said, this is on a promotion list. Cal Ocean says, Lafayette Bears think there's a sell-off. We're still going to keep the gains. It's still climbing. Well, we hope so. We'll see what happens. You also have to see and wait for news. When more new, obviously you have your Skilo Friday, which is what we call it, sell-off Friday. But then you'll also have your peeps coming through news down the road. You're going to get some gains again. So just it all depends where your hold point, your buy point is, where you're going to go with that. Daniel Wilson says, everyone's so bullish on this. I think about 95% bulls. What does this mean? You need a fresh money coming up in order to send the stock up. So since everyone already owns shares, who's even a buyer here, since it's already a weak as we won't say the word because of the censors, bulls will start getting tired of dumping their shares and even at a loss. So that's just what he's saying, and he's got the cute little chick laughing and walks away. I don't know if that's his girlfriend, probably not, but it was pretty funny. Going into other comments, we're going to pass on into the comments because, like we said, we have a lot of cooler carrying deals there. Everybody's happy talking about rolling with the bulls. We're going to be out on this one. We're going to the next. Okay, guys, the next stock we have is SEAC. SEAC. Last tick was $1.57. Going through the chart, you can go check out the chart right here. Looks like obviously you have your Q card bounce April 21st. You're sitting pretty there at $2, and then you have a fall off. You're seeing an uptick around December 21st. We're going to go into why we're seeing the uptick and what's out there in the alphabet news and things like that. Going into what would you say they do here? SeaChange International engages in the provision of multi-screen video delivery and advertising solutions. It operates through the following geographical segments: North America, South America, Europe, Middle East, Latin America, Asia Pacific. The firm's products and services include a video platform, content management, advertising, user experience, maintenance support, framework, support services, professional services. It's headquartered in the People's Republic of Massachusetts. So we're going to go into, I like the advertising aspect of this stock just for the fact that I don't know, I haven't investigated enough yet, but I like the advertising aspect because I love companies that do advertising, because I like the dollaruskis that come in with advertising, and I might be biased because I own an advertising agency. Okay, so one of my first observance as going on to this stock here, it looks like the SeaChange product platforms enables profitable TV streaming and services, cable delivery, OTT streaming, and advanced advertising. Now, with advertising, you have and cable, you have subscribers. They have 50 million subscribers, which means they have cash crop revenue coming in, and we could go into the financials, check that out as well. For over 25 years, SeaChange has pioneered solutions to help video providers across the globe manage and monetize their content. 50 plus countries, 1.5 VOD titles, and 10 million plus advertisers. 10 million plus advertisers equals Skrilla. So going on here, you have the option to customize your brand. It says make the SeaChange client your own, so you can do that. Tailor the look and make you feel and match the brand with the cross-platform consistency, minimal investment, and fully back-end control of customize your video carousels, TSTV and CDVR services, recommendation, and personal engines, and more. Personal content discovery, a way to browse. The recommendation search engine allows users' behavior to deliver precise individual content suggestions. When browsing, your customers are met with a video that are tailored to their dynamic interest for faster discovery and profile history. Why SeaChange is right for you? Because they have voice search enabled, custom channel list, exceptional EPG, series catch-up for deep lightning, smart content catalogs, manageable recording, certification support, and supports all business models. They're safe and proven for over 25 years of enabling new businesses performing to the best of their needs. They also are customer focused, which let's hope so. Everybody hopes somebody's customer focused, and dedicated on-site support. So they have their engineers that are able to help you for your support of your needs, for your personal and business needs. So going on to the news of this, what would you say the news is on the alphabets there? You have looks like you have a 2 day ago plug. Let's see if we can actually get into the Bloomberg Club. Because we're not members. If we're members of Army of Apes, they don't like that. But we have to go into the alphabets to cover what they have to say. It says a social video app Triller is in a merger talks with SeaChange. Triller, a social video platform that counts TikTok among its rivals, is in talks with the public merger of SeaChange. A transaction could be announced as soon as this week, says a person that has requested condition of anonymity. So. Because the talks are private, the transaction could be value Triller as a premium to its recent valuation, which was $1.25 billion. According to PitchBook, it's possible the talks could fall apart at the last minute. So we'll have to see where that goes. And basically, the alphabets are parroting that all over the alphabet news. So let's go on to StockWits, because that's where the real traders are at, and see if there's any StockTwits. That's where the real traders are at, and let's see if there's any relevant information that the traders are saying that they, as far as what comments are relevant. Okay, so going on to StockTwits, because that's where the real traders are at, we're getting a lot of bulls talking in there about how they see this playing out with the merger. They're hoping with this merger that there'll be some positive results, that this will send the ticker higher than it already is, which it's very possible there. This is a heavy hitter stock. This isn't your dollar and change out of out of a trailer. You've seen some of those stocks. We've all seen them. If you haven't before, go look some of the history of some of the penny stocks are up there. You go and they file their papers, and then you go online, you look, and it's a trailer park and it says out of business. And that's at the point when you lost your dough. But an interesting take here is that we had from Little Ones. He says the Trump ties. Trump joined Triller earlier this year after being suspended by Twitter, along with being verified on Triller as a posted several times. Trump was featured by the company earlier this year. Trump and Donald Trump Jr. were guest boxing commentators. Well, there's also Getter, and there also is Gab, and there also is the other social media company that they're doing. So as far as on the right side, they have several options there. We, on our end, we cover all aspects, so we're not carrying anything for Trump. We're just saying that he's probably more invested in his company. And, I mean, it's possible he has ties in some of those, but I'm sure he's more on the Getter side, Gab, and on his own dealings of the one he is creating right there. So we can say that for sure for the people that we follow. So going on to some of the other comments there, everything is about the merger. Basically, they're saying hopefully have a good Christmas. They'll get the cookies right here, and don't make it a dog show. Always do your DD and research. And good night now!